Hello, Wellness Universe. It's me, Claudia, here from one more live streaming with the interviews with our authors for the 25 Tools for Transformation, the new book coming up in July 8th. Today we have two more special authors, Sandy and Gigi. Sandy's already here. Let me see if I can find her. Gigi Austin.
Am I on?
Hello, you are. Oh, today was
Yay!
fast. I like that.
Oh yeah, I was like, whoop, 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 whoop.
Let me see if I can find Jill. Jilly. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? I'm
I'm good
nervous.
too. Oh, don't
Thank
have to be
you.
nervous.
I'm
Yay!
There I
nervous.
They
am.
working.
Hello.
That was fast. I'm so grateful for being here with you girls today. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
How
Very
exciting is
excited.
25 Tools for Life coming up in a few days from now.
Yeah, we're both excited, I think.
Yes, very
It's a
excited.
building of emotion, but yeah, we're very excited. I'm speaking for both of us. I'm sorry.
Please feel free.
For sure.
Angie,
Feel free to speak about all of us because I feel like everybody's in the same vibration right now.
yeah, we are. And the closer it gets, the more I'm like, yeah.
Yes, exactly. You can feel the kind of the container, getting ready to kind of open and get out, flood out
Exactly.
into the world. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
Amazing. So, Sandy, talking about your chapter, you are bringing something that is really important for us, that the whys matter. How can we go to this point that you start to thinking about this? And I think as we were talking yesterday in our interview, sometimes we just don't pay attention about what's going on, and you just go in an automatic pilot and eventually just making coming up with the future that was in our past, like we're just reapplying or putting on in our future everything we have already lived before. So
Mhm.
how was your point when you start thinking about that, and what exactly you were sharing from your experience in this chapter?
Yeah. Well, I was raised in a, I'm gonna cry. I didn't think that would happen. My parents were prisoners of war. Here I go. And we were raised in a household that was just filled with lots of PTSD screaming. And I didn't understand. I knew my house wasn't like my friends' houses. And I knew that there was explosive moments and I knew that there was short tempers. And then I took a trauma-informed yoga training with Yoga Fit for Warriors. It's a 200-hour training now. And I remembered as I was doing all the readings, it's various hours, I'm like, whoa, light bulbs going off. And it really helped for me to understand what PTSD does to the brain, what PTSD does to the nervous system. And it they had no control over the short tempers. And knowing that, it really helped heal my experience of it. And I've always thought they were resilient, but going through the training, I'm like, whoa, what they were dealing with and how far they came and what they went through. I've always been so proud of being Polish. And this just made it even more so because they've been a war torn or had been a war torn country. They were off the map for 100 years or more. I have the exact date. I'm sure my niece is watching going, what? But yeah, the trauma informed training helped me understand exactly what was going on in my childhood, and that helped. So learning about it, if you say how to get there, learning about PTSD is how it helped me heal. I don't know if that answers your
Yeah,
question.
for sure. I mean, first of all, I would like to thank you again to show your vulnerability. And I think this book is all about that because you're pretty much, you guys have all amazing backgrounds, not just as a professional, but mostly as a person, right? Because pretty much we cannot separate a person and a person,
Yeah.
professional. And I think this book bring us and connect all of us together, whether the experiences we have in our life. And I know that all of us in some way, we go through hard times in our lives, but yours specifically, it's very, I mean, when I was reading about it, I was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that Sandy, although she's been through all of that, look at her. Like how amazing you are and how you are gentle and kind and generous. And so thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And Gigi, can I call it Gigi?
Yes, please. Please call me Gigi.
You're saying about the transforming for exhausted to energized. I need that. I mean, I think all of us, women, especially women, right? We've been taught our whole life that we have to do a bunch of to-do lists. And then was at the end of the day was like, how can I have more energy in my in my body? So this self mastering, like you are sharing in your chapter about transforming from exhausted to energized.
Yes, absolutely. So again, thank you all. Thank you for having us here. And Sandy, thank you for your amazing story. So,
Thank you.
yes, it's interesting. I think of myself as, having kind of come from a workaholic kind of tendency and, combined with people pleasing. What a wonderful duo that is. Really kind of giving my energy away. And, I love to kind of think about our life force as sort of a collection of what I call energetic coins, that we build up. And then, often if we don't really think of it consciously, we can start spending those coins left and right and not refreshing them. So kind of really beginning to understand, how do we, first of all, inventory what kind of energetic, coin collection do I have, and how do I replenish it? How do I, save it for what's really, really priority and important? And how do I say no when I know that spending an energetic coin is going to drain the stockpile?
Mhm.
I love that. And since you were saying about yoga, I think that helps. So, like, whenever you have a chance to, I think for me, it's like the more exercise, although it's kind of sound, oh, this is exhausting. Actually, I get more energized.
For sure.
Yes, yes. And you bring up such a wonderful point too, which is, you know, just even thinking about the topic of change and transformation. In my experience, you just don't get there by thought alone. Thinking is only one of the four quadrants, and the physical is so important. It's so important. Moving our body in order to transform or change is just, it's one of the keys. And that's you, anyway, that's my experience. You just
Yeah.
don't think your way into change, as one of my mentors
Yeah.
said. That, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. You are aware and you connect with your body and you use your body to give you this guidance through your life. And I think Sandy stories as well, because eventually she must be feeling her or in your cells. I mean, all your body. Where's this pain? Where this trauma coming from? And I think
Mhm.
your body also help you to go through the signs to
Mhm.
eventually I don't know if that would be the best word, but overcome the things that we've been through in your childhood.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
It does. Well, I don't know if I didn't put it in the chapter, but they did experiments on, I think, mice, and it was, here's the smell of cherry, and here will shock you. Here's the smell of cherry, here will shock you. And it was like 6 generations later, the little mice smelled the cherry, and they would feel like they were shocked. It travels. So as I was mentioning, my Polish history is a war-torn country, so I know that there's anxiety that my ancestors have lovingly passed on. My mom for sure, and yoga helps you with that. So does the humming. Before this, I was rocking and humming before the thing came on. There's soothing things we can do. There's breath work. Yeah, were you rocking and humming, Jill or Gigi?
Absolutely. You bet I was.
I was doing it all. And the tools, I tell my students, you have to practice them regularly, or they won't be in your back pocket when you need them. you forget about them. So if you do them every day, if you do a little bit of yoga, a little bit of breathing, meditation, try to hum something, because the vibration of singing and humming affects the vagus nerve, and that also does yoga. And it's all soothing. It's all parasympathetic, rest, relax. So yeah, definitely. Hopefully I answered. I get to the end and go, I just
Yeah.
rambled. But yeah, movement definitely removes stagnation. So
I mean,
Amazing.
if I just could jump in, I think you make such a great point, because when I hear PTSD, I mean, I I think, these really big things like what happened, with your family, and sometimes forget to recognize that there are other things that cause that in us, and it's not necessarily the more, I guess we're going to say, obvious kind of thing.
mhm.
So, love
Yeah.
that you have distilled that into, how does that happen, even on, I'm going to say, maybe very very important, but maybe more kind of everydayish or mundane-ish
Mhm.
kind of things.
For
So
sure.
thank you for bringing some light to that.
Thank you for
Yes.
saying that. I have a yoga brochure on trauma, and I think it's something like 25% of everybody's coming to your class with trauma, and it's probably higher than that. So you just assume we've all experienced some kind of trauma. Maybe it's a car accident, maybe it's someone passed away quickly, but so it doesn't have to be generational. In my instance, it was definitely passed down generationally, and I had the war trauma in the household, and then the environment filled with it. So we all kind of did what we needed to do to get by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Thank you,
absolutely.
Gigi. Thank you for saying that. And
thank you,
thank you. I
Gigi.
loved your tool as well. So we'll get to
Oh,
that.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah, let's go to the two. So, about Gigi, your two, sharing, because this book is specifically, we know that all the series of the Guide of Complete Self Care, we have like each chapter has one tool, but this book specifically, we have more than 25 tools. And not to mention that we have the transformation journey starting in October. So I'm super excited for that as well. But can you just go dive in a little about your tools, please?
Sure. Sandy, do you want to lead off, or how
Oh
do you
no,
want to do
she
it?
wanted you to go first.
Oh, she
Oh,
did? Okay.
you.
I
Feel
missed the
free.
Gigi part there. Sorry about that. Okay.
That's
So,
okay.
okay, I'm going
I'm
to
sitting
breathe.
here relaxing.
I'm humming. I'm humming. Well, first of all, I'm going to tie it actually to something that Sandy said, which is, back to kind of the elements of change, or the elements that bringing in different modalities. And I'm hearing, literally heard her talk about, breathing the air, and, making the sound, and dealing like with the flow of the emotions and the physicality and all those pieces. So in the tool that I brought in, which was really finding out what your energetic tells are, tells, like you hear poker tells or whatever. It's like, what is it? What's the signal that your own system already knows to tell
Right.
you, yeah, this is a must do thing, or yeah, no, no, thank you, no, thank you, or maybe, which, plot spoiler, means no. So at
Yeah.
least for now. So, speaking of embodied, that's part of the tool, is really beginning to drop in and notice where is absolute yes in your body, and where is absolute no, and is it a sound or a sight or what is it? And you can kind of train yourself then, so then you can pause and ask the question when you're being presented with something. Is this a yes? Is this a no? Or is this one of those I better should, maybe. So that's how I would answer from my perspective.
I
Yeah.
love that. I'm obsessed with this situation right now of asking my body whether it's a yes or no, because our mind sometimes gets stuck, right? Even us, I know all of us, and I hope people that join us as well are connecting with the spiritual guide and saying like, do not fear, right? Go for it. But we are living collective, and right now we know there's a lot of fear going on. So eventually, sometimes we just go there, and our mind, there's like so much noise, but our body just knows. So I always ask my body, is that the most elevated thing to do right now? Yes or no? And sometimes I ask in another way for it just to confirm the answer. So I really love you. I appreciate you too, Gigi.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I liked your tool in general, because I'm always trying to listen to where did my anxiety come from? Oh, what's trigger? Because it's a trigger then with
Trigger.
war trauma. The yes and the no's can also turn into a trigger for something, because a lot of it's no. You're sort of searching the field for anything that might be traumatic, and you get nervous over it really quick. So the tell is something that yoga teaches you to drill down into your body and always listen to what you're feeling. Always listen to sensation. Always listen to groundedness. And then the more you're in your body, the less you're in the monkey mind. And I that kind of ties into what yoga teaches. What your tool definitely ties right in. So it was a wonderful reminder when I was reading it. I'm like, yeah, this is pretty much this is how yoga talks, connecting with the body. So thank you for sharing that. That was
Thank
awesome.
you. Thanks
Oh,
for
that's
tying that
true. Oh,
in.
and Jeanette saying, I like your maybe means no. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I've gotten in so much trouble with my maybes. In fact, I think really if I would look back at it and sort of parse it out, 80% of the maybes really,
Yeah.
got me stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, also when you say I would try, it's definitely a no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't say you're
We,
gonna try because just say they're not gonna go. We
yeah.
sometimes get so afraid of make people feel upset and
Yeah.
we're gonna say no, right? Because
Yeah.
even though we know that's the best answer for us, we're looking for approval. We're looking for, oh, I don't want to upset this person. But
Yeah.
let's just don't go for the right answer. I mean, the truth. Be honest.
My husband will say, "We'll see." I'm like, "Okay, that means no." And we joke about it. I mean, we get along great, but you get to know each other.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
Sandy, about your toe specifically, can you share a little bit of this?
It focuses on humming. In the chapter I talk about rocking, singing, and humming, and I focused on humming because it's the vibration in the throat, which incorporates breath. You can't really hum without breath, and with yoga, everything starts with the breath. There's even a bee's breath that's a calming breath. You plug your ears, and so you remove all sensation, and then when you plug your ears, you have a more of an audible sound. And it's about humming, and it's about how it calms your anxiety, it lowers your blood pressure, it lowers your heart rate. It brings the rest and relax nervous system on, and it's very soothing. It also helps you concentrate, which I did mention in the chapter, but there was a study I wrote about some time ago that if you hum a song that you know pretty well and don't have to memorize, like Happy Birthday, mine is Silent Night, it just is my go-to. If you're driving, you have better peripheral vision, and I remembered reading that going, whoa. So I'm also nervous when I drive, so there's that. But it helps you concentrate, and it lowers anxiety is probably the biggest thing, brings on calmness. Talking a bit quick, I apologize. But
No,
it's
you're fine.
that's the tool. And then I go into specifics on songs that bring ancestors to mind. Like Que Sera Sera, my dad whistled.
Mhm.
Uh, my mom's Polish lullaby. I almost put the Polish for it's Kotki in the chapter. I say three little kittens, two little kittens, excuse me. Kotki Dva is two. And I used to sing that to my nieces to put them to sleep, and I hum it, and it's a soothing song. My nieces, even when they cried, would when they wanted to go to sleep and couldn't, they would go, ah. There's my niece. She's online with us. Ah.
Oh,
Anita is in Poland. Thank you, Anita. I love you. I'm gonna cry now. So
oh,
that's one. And then there were certain songs that made me think of my husband's relatives. You are my sunshine. There's just ways you can bring ancestors to your heart,
I
and
love that.
it's just to me it's a calling card. If you decide I want to think about dad right now, the Polish anthem we went down the aisle to, and we surprised him with it because it's not a wedding song, but it was his favorite, and he would cry when he heard it. And everybody in the crowd was Polish. My husband's family is Polish. So things like songs that mean something to you will bring forth your ancestors. And if it just happens to come to mind, I always think they're trying to say hi to you if all of a sudden I start humming the Polish anthem. So that's part of the tool as well, not just humming and not the reasons for humming, like in nitric oxide increases, it's a healing molecule, not the reasons behind it, but the after effect of calmness, and then ways you can use it to speak to your ancestors, to bring them into your heart, to connect with them. Calling card wise, or when it just pops in your head, bed. I'm like, "Hi, Dad." If I all of a sudden start that was what I was humming and rocking before this when it wasn't coming on. I was humming the Polish anthem, closing my eyes. So I have my ancestor table behind me, so he's watching.
Yeah, for sure. Though that's so powerful. What you're saying just remind me of a lot of stuff like I was going through. And then reminds me whenever like if you wanna receive a hug from someone, you just hug yourself. Because
Yeah.
for ourselves it's the same effect if you somebody's hugging us, right? So what you're saying about this make me remember like effective memory when I was with my grandpa and grandma and I miss them so much.
Yeah.
So when you're saying that, just remind me like, oh, I can use that for connect with them. And if I'm missing them, I just feel like, no, you don't have to miss because we are here with you in your
Yes.
vein, yourself.
Yes, the energy of it. And what you mentioned just real quick, these are reflexology points for worrying and de-stressing. And when people they rock and they hold those points, same thing up here. So our nervous system knows what it needs, is what I wrote in the chapter, and it really does, because you do end up, rubbing your head and anyway. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I mean, we might not be perfect as human beings, but our body is perfect.
Yes, it is. And
Sandy,
it's
sorry, go
that's
ahead.
okay. No, no. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna say that my mom, speaking of ancestors,
Yeah.
she was a nurse, and she used to hum all the time, and she told me how much her patients really remarked on it. So kind of that contagiousness as well
Mhm. Yeah.
of the. I'm sure there's science and chemicals behind all that, but
Oh,
the
there definitely is. My mom would hum when she ironed, and other times too. But that was her way, because then you have. So I suggest perhaps doing dishes and humming, or just closing your eyes as a meditation with, just using it as a meditation humming. There's kind of two different ways, but I try to do it when I'm doing something to concentrate or dishes. I try to do it once a day, especially since I wrote the chapter. I'm like, I should start doing that more often. So, but yeah, you can definitely reach out and connect with ancestors through it for sure.
And you
So
can do
my,
this from anywhere, right? And any time in
yeah,
your day.
exactly. That I had one of my friends was like, humming. You're using humming. I go, yeah, it's simple, but that's the joy, and the simplicity is the joy, is that you can pull it out anytime. We can hum whenever we need it. So,
I used to do some of these like when I was in the C-suite, like presenting in big corporate whatever, and you're like, well, you probably aren't going to start like humming, but you know
probably not.
what? You can go like,
Hmm.
like a thoughtful something,
Yeah,
creating a
yeah.
pause of some
Hmm.
sort.
Oh,
You can
for
always
sure.
stop and sip water and then pick it up and go,
Hmm.
and
Or
you've done it.
for sure the therapeutic side. If you're high enough in the echelon, you can do a sigh during a meeting, because that might not be good.
True, true. I
Yeah,
love though. I love kind of, you can do it. It doesn't have to be, the grand. I don't have to, stand up and sing opera. Like,
yeah.
I can
Oh, for sure.
incorporate these tools, right? And isn't
Yeah.
there something? My husband is a singing teacher. He teaches
How
classical music,
cool.
and
How
he
cool.
talks about the muscle memory of when you have learned a piece, and then when you're practicing, if you have learned that piece thoroughly, you can actually recreate it without making the noise, and your muscles actually get the benefit of the practice. So I'm
Mm.
almost wondering if you could imagine humming
Oh,
that
I'm sure you
anthem.
could. It's kind
Yeah,
of like what the Olympians used for visualizing doing their athletics. I would imagine it works similar. That's just me off the cuff, but
yeah,
I know I can
Yeah, I was
stop
thinking
right now
about
and
that.
imagine it. I can imagine the Polish anthem and going down the aisle with my daddy,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Another way to sneak it into the boardroom, just saying.
There you go. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right now
another
you
kind of
got me thinking.
speaking room. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. And what I love the most, like, also in this book and all the tools, it's exactly what you're saying. It's the simple things. Because if that's like, no, we have to go for it and do a lot of stuff in your day, have resources, you're not going to do it. It has to be something simple for you to start, and then eventually put in a daily basis. And then it's going to be automatic, just like you brush your teeth. But it has
Exactly.
to be something simple. Otherwise, you give up, right away.
Yeah, exactly. Like Gigi's tells, if we don't key into our body regularly, I always say yoga increases your intuition because you start to listen to your body. And if we aren't doing the tells like Gigi's tool recommends, you are going to not even realize that where your landing of the yes is and where your no feels and the energetics of it. So practicing it regularly, like she had an exercise, is perfect for that. It's really good.
It makes me want to hum.
Exactly. Let's all hum.
Our,
Let's all
our
do the
Mm.
Polish
I
anthem.
love the bee. I love the bee noise, right? So good.
Yeah. Now you got my.
and the it's amazing, right? When you hum the I go to peace right away. It's
Exactly.
automatically.
Exactly. And extending the M for sure. That's going to be part of the transformational journey, part of the workshop. We'll
Yeah.
definitely have Om
I
for sure.
cannot wait for that. I'm
Oh,
so
you're so
excited.
sweet. You're so
Yeah,
sweet.
thank you, girls. Yeah, yoga is amazing. I think everybody could, if you only have an opportunity to do a practice at least once in your life, you're
Mhm.
gonna fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love. Once I was practicing, and I heard the instructor saying something that I took for my life. That was like, invite the edge and respect your limits.
hmm
Isn't it how we're supposed to approach life?
Yeah. Well, it's on and off the mat. Listen to your body and know your limits.
Yeah, respectfully, right? Generously.
Yes. I
Yeah.
can't tell you the number of times I'm teaching someone and they want to do it differently because they construe the different as being perfect. And I'm like, what's perfect is when it fits your body. It's not. It's not because this picture in yoga journal looks like this. Shorten the stance, use a block, maybe kneel. They're like you've got to find comfort in your body.
Yeah,
Just
and
like the
stop
tells.
comparing yourself. Like, stop with that, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
better than worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
The
became
ego
too,
Yes.
gets in the way.
yeah,
Well,
we
and doesn't it
teaching our
all
lives to be comparing, right, with people, and I don't think this is the
Mhm.
best way.
Yeah.
that's it.
The trauma informed yoga invites non-competition, non-judgment.
Yeah,
Listen to your body. You have your own agency. If it doesn't feel good, you don't do it. So, and those tells, Gigi, are so important because you know as you're going into a pose, like, oh no, and nope, shouldn't have gone there.
Yes. Yes, yes. And that comparison piece, how do I compare myself to others? That is the sinkhole for low self-esteem and low
mm-hmm.
self-value. If you
For
think you're
sure.
above or below someone else, then
Mhm.
that's going to take you off. That's going to
Yeah.
torques you off in a different
Yes.
direction. And
Yes.
that's so hard. And I think there's like that fine line between, kind of noticing but yet but not in comparison that carries a judgment, right, that I should be more or
Mhm.
should be less or they
Yeah,
should be or any of that. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's really important. Isn't that great that yoga like brings it all in, like it brings it all together like
It
that?
definitely does. And I love yoga. I do it every day and mine is more grounded because I need the grounding. As you can tell, I'm a little antsy, anxious. I
air.
need to be on the floor and I need grounding. And my husband knows this. And he does it with me. And then he
Aw,
doesn't meditate with me, but he'll go up the steps to go shower. He goes, now you make sure you meditate because he knows I am so much better when I meditate. So yeah,
that's
thank you for this.
amazing. I love that. Thank you, girls. Oh, amazing. Yeah. I think if that one thing that would be positive in comparing, I wouldn't say comparing, but is see people and all they're going through and they inspire you, like use them as an inspiration.
hmm Yeah, for
Yes,
sure. For
yes.
sure.
Like you girls inspire me
Yeah,
deeply.
bless you. Thank you.
Thank
Oh
you for
well, and
sharing your stories.
You're
when you,
welcome.
and
Thank you.
thank you for asking us, and
Yes.
thank you for your awesome talent
Yes.
in interviewing and taking this all in and helping distill it in bite-sized pieces so people can
Yeah.
like back to those simple things, the key
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
that's
And
that's a
you
gift.
made us all feel comfortable or made us feel comfortable. So
Oh, I cannot express how much I'm grateful for all of you because it's such a, I mean, I feel so blessed of being surrounded by amazing people that you're just saying, you've been through so many things in hard ways. And here you are, like sharing your stories in a humble way, in a lovely way. So that made me feel so lucky. And I was like, oh my God, what I did it so right. So to bring to my life people like you. So I'm so
Oh,
blessed.
thank you.
And just as a quick call out, I mean, I just want to deep gratitude to Anna Pereira for her vision and for this amazing container that she holds for her
Mhm.
community and her books and her writing and her vision about how, you know, happy, healthy, healed humans, there it is,
Yeah,
lead to
yeah,
global peace. And
yeah.
we need
I
that.
call Anna goddess of the goddess
Yes,
because she has
yes,
this power to connect us, all of
yeah,
us
yeah,
together. She has like this brilliant soul, and she's like always
yeah,
having these ideas. And oh, I'm gonna bring this person and bring this person, and
yeah.
eventually you're all soulmates
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah. She
Yeah.
brings so much energy to it. I can't tell you the number of times I've come to tears with her posts and her kindness. I'm like, she's supporting me again. She
Yeah,
must have three of her because she's everywhere.
Right? Wow. Talk about
family soul. We're
this
all
woman knows
family soul.
how to spend her energetic coin, let me tell
Exactly.
Yeah, Anna, we love you, Anna.
Yep.
You are
Yes.
the
One,
queen
one,
of
one, one.
wellness. The queen of wellness as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, girls. I'm once again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you all, and thank you for sharing your stories. I cannot wait for July 8th. We have the launch of the book on Amazon. We hope people get right away. We are sure they're going to be bestseller, specifically in on one more book. And not to mention the transformation journey that's coming up. Is a guy sharing a little about what is gonna be part of like diving in even more into your tools. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. And it was
you.
nice to get to know you better, Gigi. Thanks for
Yes,
being so
thank
kind. Both
you.
of you.
And
Thank you.
Claudia. Yes, thank you so much.
Claudia, you're so
Thank
beautiful.
you. I hope to see you girls in my
Thanks,
future.
Sandy.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.